Alright, Miss Marigold, you want to make your YouTube debut? Hello everybody, it's Liliana Rowena, and this is Miss Marigold. I think she'll be filming with us today, because I thought it'd be fun to use my couch as a background. She's super cute, I love her so much. So, I am doing another tea time reading. I found this really cool thing in the Good for Beginners section on the LiveJournal EGL. And I actually, even though it is an older resource, I've been looking around, highly recommend that you go look into it. So the thing that I found today, the title of it is The List of Lolita Everyday Problems and How to Solve Them. Princess Peachy. I didn't realize this was a collaborative thing Princess Peachy did. That's really cool to see at the top. Unless it's it might be a different Princess Peachy. I'm not 100% sure, but that's a very recognizable username. So, without further ado, list of Lolita everyday problems and how to solve them. Hiya everyone! It has a little smiling emoji. So we all know that most Lolita clothes can be quite impractical at times and can cause various little annoyances. But in the end, it's worth it to wear something so nice, am I right? And then a little, like, XD emoticon with a winky face. I was wondering what little problems you experience on a daily basis. I would encourage you all to give each other hints and tips on how to resolve the problems. I'll add your own problems and helpful tips to this list alphabetically with credit. So here's the list of everyday problems. Clothes, long sleeve. I tend to be more of a long sleeved loli. I've noticed that that is a term that gets used in older things. I would not advise, if you are new in any modern Lolita space, that you use the abbreviation Loli, because that has entirely different connotations now than it did when this was made. So I'm just putting that out there. You might hear that a few times here, but know that the connotation was a way to try to differentiate themselves from the novels, the movie, and the book in the past, and it has now kind of gotten to the point where that no longer works due to the connotations of that abbreviation. Know that I will be referencing it in this, but that you probably shouldn't say it now. And my big sleeves tend to be a problem with cooking. I learned the hard way that they are a big fire hazard when cooking on the stove. A little emoticon that's like a stressed emoticon. And then asterisk sigh. They always get caught in my wheelchair too. I don't really care for short sleeves, so can anyone help? And then here is the tips. For big/long sleeves, I know you can get things that are basically sleeve garters that keep your sleeves from getting into food. If you want to lullify it up a bit, you can. A tight pair of elastic wrist cuffs might work well for this, with small lace of course. I usually try to avoid cooking with my nice clothes, so I've never tried them, but I know people outside of the Lolita world use them, so they must work. That's so cool. Clothes, smelly. I think the only current problem is getting rid of a Chinese restaurant smell off of a Lolita skirt that is hand wash only. Tips, try airing it out. If your clothes aren't dirty but have an odor, just hanging them somewhere they can air out a day or two can help a lot. I used to often get a fog machine smell from clubs on clothes that were tricky to wash, otherwise weren't dirty. I think airing it out is better than Febreze and the like. I've never actually used Febreze, and I figure why use a chemical spray when hanging it out by the window works just as well and is a lot more natural. Some people also like to use those home dry cleaner sheets for a quick tumble to take odors out, but we don't have a dryer, so I don't know how well those work. That is so cool. Cycling. I cycle everywhere, and sometimes I end up flashing my bloomers at everyone, especially when I'm going downhill or in windy weather. I've tried holding my skirt and petty down with one hand, but that usually ends in me falling off my bike at some point. I'm really clumsy. I love all of these just everyday lifestyle Lolita stuff. My cat is like sinking into my lap. She's so cute. Have you tried tucking your skirt under your leg? I've only worn Lolita and biked once. I did a weird tucking maneuver where the dress sat more like a straight skirt. It was not easy to ride with, but dignity was kept. Tablecloth weights? We sell flowery ones at work. Weighting the inside of the hem of the skirt always helped. It's also less of a problem with vintage cruisers. Marigold! I don't know if you can see her from where I put the camera, but she is now underneath the laptop. She's so cute. Okay, dry cleaners and living far away from them. I live in the middle of nowhere. I'm about 2.5 hours away from the nearest dry cleaners. This is a problem when most people advise to dry clean Lolita clothes. Tips: if fabric is cotton, it should be okay to put in the washing machine on its own at the hand wash setting with the lowest heat and the slowest cycle. If your washing machine doesn't have hand wash functions, I would be wary about doing this. For dresses, turn them inside out before washing. I would advise washing by machine only if you have color enhancer detergent, especially if the dress has a lot of white/pale lace the colors could run into. If you have a large delicates bag, you should put your dresses in there, still turned inside out. I never knew that I should probably put my dresses inside out if I'm like some of the ones I can machine wash. I'm gonna try doing that because some of my stuff that I've had for a long time, like some of the details start to wear down. However, I would not recommend putting stuff in the washing machine if the lace is cheap or scratchy, but pieces with large, stronger lace should be okay as long as it's put in a delicates bag. What is also possible is to really wash it by hand. I wash my petticoat and blouses in a bucket with warmish water, not too hot, and some cleaning stuff, not too much of course. You just move the clothing through the water with your own hands and leave it a bit. Rinse with the clean water and hang to dry. I hand wash my more delicate dresses and toss everything in the washer on a gentle setting. I actually use my big bathtub to do like full loads of things or just wash them in the sink. Drying clothes. How do you dry? My dryer is one of the new ones with ultra delicate settings, gently shakes up the clothes and blows air on them, but I'm still terrified to use it. Tips: on a line in the garden or inside on one of those rack things. I need to get one of those rack things for days when it's raining because I have been hand washing my clothes way more often recently to preserve them better and to save money because I don't have a washer or dryer in my house. But I'll end up having to redo it because it'll be raining and I'll like leave it in the house and I'll try to hang it up on things, but then I will be like, oh no, it's not dried all the way, I need to wash it again. Eating. I'm a very messy eater. I am also a messy eater. Whenever I sit at the dinner table, I get at least one splotch on my clothes. If my dinner includes tomatoes, I get paranoid. Stains! With a big XD. At the couch is easier because I can put a protective pillow or blanket on my lap. However, my top half is still in danger. Tips: sitting at the table. Always carry a spare handkerchief or napkin with you if you know you're a messy eaters. A nice frilly edged one is very Lolita. The neatest way to wear it is of course on your lap, but remember your top half will still be exposed. Tucking it into your collar may be helpful, but it usually looks silly, so eating alone like this is okay. Or as an alternative to napkins, have a Lolita apron that goes with your outfit. Why not put it on? Oh, and of course, it helps if you eat with your mouth closed and don't talk with food in your mouth. That is my one bad habit I have, where I get excited, especially if I'm out with other people, and I will be like super excited and I just can't wait to say the thing. And it's a bad habit. For covering your top half with eating, you can tuck it into your shirt or jumper, but I've also seen decorative chains with little pretty clips that are designed to hold a hanky like a bib. You could buy one from a kimono catalog, or you could easily make your own with little alligator clips. Eyes, puffy, and dark bags. I naturally have dark circles under my eyes 24/7. Crying emoticon. It really ruins the perfect doll face look. Tips: makeup time. You'll need a gentle face moisturizer or a moisturizer made specifically for the under eyes, concealer, and foundation in your exact skin color. I recommend mineral foundation. It's amazing. I think that's one thing that dates this. I don't know anyone who currently uses mineral foundation. First, gently pat the moisturizer all around your eye area, especially under the eyes. Do not rub, or at least rub very gently, because this can damage your delicate and thin skin of the eye area. Then dab some concealer around the eye and pat it to look natural. Lastly, dab on the foundation for the finished shadow-free look. Afterwards, you can add any eyeliner or other eye makeup that you use. I also recommend putting cucumbers over your eyes for around 10 minutes every night or two. This helps get rid of puffiness. For dark under eye circles, I recommend Smashbox's Under Eye Brightener. I think it's called Photo Finish. Do they still make that? I remember that. That was like a really popular product for a little while. Eye cream with hyaluronic acid is the best you can buy. It's really expensive though. I buy mine for $25 at the nearest public screen ride, but otherwise it lasts forever and it's a really good investment. I actually had some, and I think the hyaluronic eye creams have started going down in price, actually, since this was written. I've heard that if you have bags under your eyes, placing some chamomile tea bags on them for a few minutes will take the puffiness away. They absorb the moisture that causes the puff. Neutrogena makes stuff called under eye corrector. It's a miracle product. It's like a cover-up, but has extra ingredients called proteant, which shrinks your circles pretty instantly. I swear by it and I get pretty puffy puffs. I love the energy in this big collaborative piece that people wrote together. This is going to be a long episode, I think, because it just keeps going. It's amazing having all of this all in one place. I don't think I've seen anything comparable to this recently in Lolita in a very long time as a resource, and it's still here. You can look at it. I'll link it in the description. Hot weather. It is very hot here, and it will get hotter every day, and I sweat a lot in the sun. What can I do? Tips. Firstly, owning a jumper skirt is great because you can wear it by itself on sweltering days. You may still be too hot, however. If it's not so hot, at least wearing a blouse with detachable sleeves is very practical and handy. Handkerchief. Use it to dab, not wipe off your sweat. Carry a fan in your bag, no matter what. This is especially easy since you can find a beautiful one to match your outfit. At the very least, this will keep your face and neck from sweltering and your makeup from falling off. Keep a small spray bottle of water in your fridge. Tuck it in your purse when you go out. Anytime you feel the need, duck aside and give yourself a nice refreshing mist. It does wonders for your skin by keeping it hydrated too. If you're headed for a for sure outside gathering, like a picnic, go right ahead and style your hair in an updo. I stand by that. I do that. Plan your outfit around it if you have to. You'll avoid that awful sweaty neck feeling and you'll stay cooler than if you were constantly fidgeting to fix your hair. If you live somewhere where humidity is a problem, all you have to do to corral the frizzies is duck into a bathroom and lightly wet your hairs and smooth your do back down. Using a mint spritzer or spray in your hot spots throughout the day will really help. The mint is cooling even on really hot days and makes you smell delicious. It also works wonders no matter how many layers you have on. Spending a summer working at a Ren fair with several full body layers approved. That sounds like fun, but also like you're constantly dying of heat. The neck area is a really nice, delicate place to spritz and often is not covered, especially in the summer. Pets and fur. I have an adorable pet bunny and I love to cuddle her every day. The problem is she molts very easily and I get fur all over my Lolita clothes. All you really need to do is buy a hair removal brush like this one here. There's a hyperlink there. I don't know if it will take me somewhere, so I'm gonna see if that link is broken or not. Yep, it is broken, as many of the links on EGL are. Just brush it over your clothes and it collects all the fur, which you can then pick off and throw away. Simple, so like a lint roller. Petticoats flattening. Maybe someone has a tip too about flattening petticoats due to sitting. It gives an awkward silhouette if the bum is flattened more than the butt front. When I wear Lolita, I always look for benches and chairs where I can lift up my skirts in the back to prevent wrinkles in a flat petty. Also afterwards, I will go to the bathroom and fluff my butt up. I love that phrasing. Generally a better idea when non-Lolitas are not around. I try to rotate my petty throughout the day after sitting for a long time. Then the next time I sit down, it's not the same part getting squashed over and over. I also rotate petties on their hangers too, just in case. Itchy petticoats. What about a petticoat that's itchy on the legs? I have that problem. I don't have bloomers yet. And I just figure wearing bloomers will solve that. Yep, bloomers are love, but be sure the bloomers are long enough. Otherwise, you'll still have the same problem. Itchy, itchy. You could also wear spandex or pajama shorts for a quick fix, but if they're short, they won't help that much. An elastic waist basic skirt can be a quick underskirt too. It doesn't matter how it looks because it won't show under the petty and skirt/dress. You could wear a slip underneath it, a regular slip or in a pinch bike shorts. Since it's getting summery, I've been wearing short slip pajama trousers under my skirts. They're a bit shorter and don't protect enough from the itching, but it's better on the legs and against windy days too. Petticoats knocking things over. I have this all the time when I go places. How do you get through doors without knocking people and things out of the way with your giant skirt/petticoat? I've tried smoothing it down every 3 seconds and flattening it, but nothing has worked. Tips. I have the same sort of issue at my uni. Basically, I try to avoid squeezing past people or things. If I knock something over, I pick it up and make a joke about it, i.e., oh, my silly giant skirt, etc. If I really have to squeeze through people, I say, excuse me, sorry, and if they still get in the way, it's their bad luck. Also, this gives me a good enough reason to make an annoyed face and pretty much grab my entire skirt slash petticoat and hold it in front of me. It seems to work, and usually I only do it when people are being rude and not stepping aside at all. If your problem is that your petticoat is way too puffy, try hanging it somewhere in your house the way it's worn and some of the puff should fall out. That is hilarious to hear, because since even I started Lolita, you do not want to depuff your petticoats. Everybody's like, more petty. As much petty as you can stuff in there. Shopping slash changing rooms. When I go shopping, it takes me ages to try anything on because Lolita clothes take a long time to take off and put on again. Maybe when you know you are going to be trying on clothes, you could wear an outfit that's easier to get in and out of, i.e. simple Mary Jane's with only one buckle, a skirt and cut-sew that doesn't have a lot of ribbons to tie or something. Sitting outdoors. Whenever I go outside with my Lolita gear on, perhaps to a forest or a countryside walk, I'm very careful about where I sit outside. Lolita clothes are not so easy to wash, so if I sit anywhere grubby looking, I get scared the back of my skirts or dresses will suffer. Tips. I always carry a small towel with me in my purse, so when I sit outside, I can set it down on the icky dirt slash ground slash bench. If you're actually planning an event where you know people will sit outside, maybe take 1 or 2 huge picnic blankets. You can get some great ones these days, which are PVC backed and roll up into a little portable bundle like this. There's another hyperlink, but knowing what I know about a lot of these articles on EGL, it's probably broken. Or ask coming to take along something to sit on. Cheap, smallish, thin cotton tablecloths make good sitting spots and can quite easily be rolled up and put into a decent-sized bag. For general daily stuff, I always swipe the seat on the public transportation with my hands before sitting, and I simply do not sit if it is dirty. I think keeping a plastic bag or 2 shoved in your purse would be a good idea. It takes less room in a purse, etc. than a blanket. I agree with the plastic bag. It's also really good when things are rainy and moist. Maybe even something made out of pretty fabric and convertible to a bag would be more practical. Yeah, you schoolgirls always bring a handkerchief to lay on a chair before sitting to prevent their legs from sitting to the chair. That's what I thought of right away. That is so smart. I always, in the summer, have that where it sticks to where you sit. If you sit on anywhere plastic, it's always so awkward to get up. I recommend an oversized handkerchief to be carried in your Lolita bag. It can be embroidered with your initials or a cute design, cupcakes or cards, anyone, to match your personal style. And no one is going to raise an eyebrow at a cute girl covered in frills and lace producing an equally frilly tuft of cloth to sit on. Also I'm gonna butcher this, guys, I'm so sorry, a tenugui or a smaller furoshiki. These are usually thicker cloth than hankies, so they're good for sitting on and other dirty jobs. Tenugui come in all kinds of prints and traditional Japanese designs to whimsical modern ones. Keep a constant picnic blanket in the back of your car if you use one. Test the sitting spot with your hand first for unsuspected wetness. I've been known to rip out a clean sheet of paper from my sketchbook to sit on. Obviously not everyone lugs a 9x12 sketchbook around all day though. And try to avoid grass when wearing bright colors. I haven't had any since I was 10 or so, but I remember grass stains are horrible to get out. I just realized something. Is this on? Oh, so sorry, Miss Marigold. I'm gonna scoop your butt. Good, it's not on time lapse. I was horrified that I might have been doing this really long video and it was on time lapse. Socks falling down. When I go walking, my socks often roll down and it can be really annoying to have to pull them up again every 5 minutes. If your socks don't have any frills or decorations on top, try getting some nice elasticized sock toppers. Not only will this make your socks more decorative and pretty, but they can really help hold the socks up. After a while, the elastic may wear out and you may find that they start falling down with your socks too. Sock toppers. I keep seeing these things about sock toppers. Some people use garter belts, it seems. You can buy sock glue, which is just a gentle roll-on sticky substance that keeps socks from falling. You can buy it from the Sock Dreams website, or sock tape. Fashion tape, that should help too. I think what would help is to wear lightweight tights and then wear socks over it. It should keep the socks from falling since it's gripped to the tights. Stains. Eek! I got a stain on my clothing. There are many good stain remover products such as Vanish and OxyClean, depends on where you live. If they don't work, do not even think of using bleach. Instead, this is where you should take your stained piece to the dry cleaners or to try dry cleaner fluid gently in the stained area. If your piece is fully white, not including cream or off-white, such a blouse or headpiece, you can actually leave it on the window side in full sunlight for a week or more. That can actually sometimes work at fading the stain, but it depends on what the stain is from. Some extra advice, be particularly wary of chocolate, dark nasty stains on lighter colored clothes especially, and blood, often very hard to get rid of. And of course the dreaded ink. Keep those pens in a safe place. Look it up online before you use anything. Sometimes the makeup of the stain agent means certain cleaners won't work. For example, I got a red lipstick on a cream blouse, and isopropyl alcohol worked so much better than soap and water. Since part of fighting the stain is getting it out as quickly as possible, that helps reduce your frustration. For makeup stains on cotton, dab lightly with dishwashing soap and rinse gently. This actually works well for when cheap jewelry rubs black onto your clothes for some reason. For blood, your own spit works to take out your blood. I'm not sure why, but it can be a quick fix though. I don't know if I'd want to spit on my clothes. Hydrogen peroxide also takes out blood. In the wash, I mean, obviously. But okay, I probably use the hydrogen peroxide over the spit. Also, pre-rinse and wash in cold water, never hot. Heat will set the stain. The sooner you can wash it out, the less likely it will leave a lasting stain. Tide pens. I've actually had a Tide pen and should get a new one to put in my bag. They are wonderful. It's a lifesaver. I got waterproof liquid eyeliner out of my white carpet. I always keep one with me. The bleach pen, buy one. It's the best thing ever invented. If it's on a white part of the outfit, it can actually be a lifesaver, I found. So this is actually a much longer thing than I thought it would be. So I think I am going to end this here and do a part 2. Alrighty, editing me, I just realized that it only had like a couple more modules left, so I'm going to real quickly read through these while I get attacked by a cat, because I realized me doing a second part would not have made sense, because the other part was just comments. Alright, so for the time of the month, I and countless other Lolitas will have this problem. When the time of the month comes every month, I feel really awkward and lose all confidence in wearing a knee-high Lolita skirt. Wear tight tips, wear tight fitting underwear, and over the top of those wear some thick bloomers. Short or long, it doesn't matter. This should make you feel more comfortable and protected. You can also wear some girl boxers between your underwear and your bloomers. I don't know what girl boxers are. Go to the bathroom at least once an hour to change your item, make sure you're not going to ruin your clothing. That's what I did. Although it's annoying, I saved myself from ruining clothes. Even though it's awkward to use the ladies' room all frilled up, definitely bring some extra whatever it is you use. You'll be more comfortable in the long run if you're prepared for things to get suddenly heavy than if you try to ignore it. Especially for meetups, since going from sitting for a while to standing up sometimes has lovely side effects. When you know that you'll be using the bathroom often, and you know you'll be hiking up your skirt and petty and have to hold it up while you do your business, you could bring a thin belt in your bag or purse and hold your skirt and petty up. Just loop it, put your legs through, and bring your petty and skirt up with it as you pull up, then buckle it. Wait, what? I think this will make things a lot easier. I don't understand what they just described. Wheelchairs. When I'm in my wheelchair in Lolita, my skirt has a habit of giving everyone a panic shot whenever I start to roll. I love how blunt these are. I can't seem to wear petticoats anymore for fear of this. I've been laying my purse down on my lap to weigh it down, but now no one can see my pretty skirt. As for wheelchairs, my friend sticks her skirt to her bloomers with double-sided tape. She keeps a dispenser of it in her purse to keep her undergarments well under. Windy weather. Whenever the weather gets windy, I get really self-conscious and nervous wearing my Lolita clothes with their knee-short and easily blown-up skirts. My hair also suffers. Tips. What I do is I gather all the skirt to the left or right of my legs and hold it tightly. That way that the skirt is held firmly in place with no baggy areas to catch the wind. This alone might not protect you well enough. You should definitely wear your petticoat, and if you wear bloomers, you are in more luck too. If you've got a nice and thick knee-length coat, that should pretty much cover you. Bonus if it has a hood to protect your hair. If you have long hair, gather it up and clasp it in one hard around the middle and hold it to the side of your head. Also pull your hair down firmly, not too much or it will hurt, as this will stop the hair at the top of your head getting frazzled up. Thank you so much to those who contributed to this list. Take care, frilly friends. This is so cute. I love how collaborative that this was. I think this is an amazing resource with things I would have never thought of for just little stuff, and I think I'll definitely be adding this as a link to my beginner section of my blog, and I'll be linking it in the description down below. I absolutely adored this. It was super fun. I loved the energy in the comments and just how community-based it was, because all of those answers were submitted by different people, and then the questions were submitted by people having issues. It was like reading like a DIY magazine article. It was super cool, and I absolutely adored reading it.